This is Shan with Werkz at SHOT Show 2025. I'm here with Adam from Holosun, and I'm really actually excited to see what you guys have come out with for pistol sort of accessories, not just the optics, but the accessories like that tiny light over there. What is that?
Yeah, so this guy is our new P.ID. So P.ID. is a shrunk down version of our P.ID. light. This is about 500 lumens, about 20,000 candela. It's got some great tactile feel from the buttons. As you mentioned, it's super cool. Like, it's compact enough where you're like, hey, I could carry this all day. It's not going to dig into me at all. Kind of in line with the gun. But yeah, it's going to be a great option here in the future.
And we just did a torture test on the P.ID.
Yes.
And it did really well. One of my gripes about the P.ID. is the press inward style switches are not my favorite. How are the switches on this? What is the activation?
Yeah, so you do press in, but they've got an ability where you can kind of press forward as well. And I like that because I agree with you. The one thing I don't like is when we press in, I'm always worried. I live in Ohio, so it's hot, it's cold, it's in between. I'm always worried about doing this. You can kind of press forward and you get that same tactile feel. And I really like that I can press forward. I don't have to drive my finger in.
Yeah, I can kind of feel that go clicking. So it's very, very tactile. I can feel it. And I feel like I'm actually out and a lot less pushing the pistol to the side. It's almost like an angle. It's almost like a pressure switch there.
Yes,
yeah,
that's kind of the feel you get for it. And it allows you to do both sides because, when you're using your thumb on your supported hand, good point you made, you want to press, you tend to press the gun too far over and it goes right. And my fear is usually the guys who do it with their firing hand and they kind of go in and then they go bang, bang. So,
yeah, that's
but like you said, it
safety
allows,
issue.
Yeah, now you have both sides. So you have the ability not to press the gun too far right and hopefully not go boom, boom.
Now this is shown on kind of a Glock 19 size pistol, right?
Yep.
Now, is this going to work on the slim lines too?
The final production will kind of show that, but we've seen on a bunch of different guns, and it's worked really well on a bunch of different styles of guns.
So like maybe the Hellcat or the Glock Slimline, we'll have to see what happens. Now, when do we see this?
There's no exact release date, but it sounds like probably end of the year is when we're looking at it. Obviously, there's a lot of time going into the Iris system and a couple other things, and obviously a couple other things we're going to talk about, which are going to be really exciting as well. But I can tell you, I'm super excited for this one. I think this is going to be a great addition to anybody's pistol.
Is this a prime cell, or is it a kind of that size with a rechargeable cell?
Yeah, it's got the rechargeable cell in there, and so you do have the option just to go straight from the front. You can knock that battery. Oops, sorry. Well, there's no battery in, but it's just one of the shrunk down 18350s type batteries.
Okay, yeah.
And that just goes right into there.
And that's USB-C rechargeable.
Yeah,
pop USB-C on it, and off you go.
Yeah, it sounds like, if I remember correctly, there likely will be an option to have that the option to charge it from the outside as well.
Okay,
that's one of the options we're looking at. It's not specified yet, but I've heard we are looking at those different options to kind of keep in line with the P.ID. system.
So what else you got here? You got something that looks like a light, but it's a lot bigger sitting here.
Yeah. So this is probably the one that I'm the most excited about, and that's the P.ID. Pro. And so the P.ID. Pro, what we're looking at is having the ability to do IR laser, IR illuminator, and white light on a pistol mount. The form factor of this is very small. It's very lightweight to offer all those features in a pistol, because you're kind of taking, in essence, a rifle aiming module and putting it into a pistol is kind of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so this gives you all those options, still gives you the white light as well. And I think this would be a great thing with those using suppressors, night hunting, things like that. It gives you one more option to go out there and do things with.
That's super cool. So you think that this is going to be kind of to the consumer who, hey, I need the ability to run my pistol at night. I've got some of that night vision equipment that's coming onto the market now, and they're like, hey, I need a solution so I can be out in the dark.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to go with. Obviously, we've already seen some people, and I'm one that's also interested, your PDW style weapons, your flux things like that. All those different options now where, maybe you don't have enough rail space for a full setup, but you have options for something smaller like this. So,
that seems like a really good application too.
Yeah, so
it gives you a ton of power right there.
It does. It gives you a lot of different options.
Okay, so then you've got an optic here with a even bigger, what looks like a light.
Yeah. So this is the new DPS, digital pistol sight, thermal. And so this is your thermal unit down here. And this thermal camera wirelessly transmits the data up to this guy right here, which is, it's larger than, but looks like a 509.
Yeah.
And it gives you a thermal overlay. And so that gives you the ability to have thermal in a pistol optic. And I think what at least in my mind, what this tends to show is that there's new possibilities coming up. We're pushing that envelope. and we're shrinking down sizes. Because you guys have probably seen our thermal rifle optic. Now we're shrinking it down and making it work on a pistol. And obviously other platforms can be used as well, but it gives you different options, different possibilities.
And so is the application the guy who really wants to have a really well-equipped home defense setup and be like, okay, yeah, I need to be able to go out and actually see where the threat might be?
I think it's really going to vary who's used. I think you're going to see a lot of there's hunting options, there's going to be home defense options, and for those that don't know, when you start looking at thermal is a force multiplier times like 100. If you've ever used night vision, the first time you use thermal, you realize how much you can miss that thermal automatically kind of gives you that option to see. And the lights are out, it's dark, whatever. Thermal, like if there's someone standing there, they pop out like just like a 10,000 pound elephant in the room. Like you just see it right there. And it's like, oh wow, like that's been there the whole time. So it gives those options. It's gonna be interesting to see what the consumer base uses this for and tries different things. Because obviously it's pistol, but I can see guys trying to put this on PDWs, try to put this on different options, trying to use it as a handheld. I think it's gonna be really cool to see, just like the rifle optic, the different ways people are gonna use this, and then we're gonna go and keep growing this based on consumer feedback.
That's really cool. And we had a video on this a year or two ago, short, and it kind of blew up. I think people are really, really interested in having this capability and trying it out and giving you guys feedback and figuring out what's going to work well for them. All right, Werkz at SHOT Show 2025. Stay tuned for more content.